First of all, remember that the minority keeps changing post. When the referral was made in Parliament on 5th April, I think it was the last day before we adjourned, by the Speaker, the chief whip for the minority got up to say that he disagreed with the Speaker. And his disagreement was that the Speaker could not on his own refer that matter of privilege involving a member to the Privileges Committee. The Speaker has no such business. That was the position they took. So initially that was their beef, that the Speaker cannot do that. I said I disagree with them. The Speaker can do that. I mean, every now and then we have demonstrators come to Parliament. They come to present petitions to the Speaker. The Speaker will be presiding. So usually it is me as the leader of the House, usually joined by the minority leader, to receive the petition. We then submit the petition to the Speaker, who after reading, we don't read. Maybe the people will tell us the content as a message to the Speaker. So we submit it to the Speaker, who after reading then will come to the House and then directs it to the relevant committee. This is a committee, this thing has come to me. I'm referring it to the Committee on Health, Committee on Education, or whatever committee, to deal with it and report to the House. That's the practice of the House. So if you say that the Speaker has his attention, and when the Speaker came, he said his attention has been drawn to the fact that there's been some breaches on the part of some members of Parliament. Even going back to the first session, that is last year, that some people breached the Constitution by absenting themselves for more than 15 sitting days in a particular meeting without his own approval or having given them the authority to absent themselves. But he said he wasn't going to go to the first session, that is 2021, but to restrict himself to 2022. And that his attention has been drawn to this by a petition that has been sent to him, and he called the table officers to investigate, and 3 of the MPs have been caught in the web. And so he was referring their conduct to the Privileges Committee. What it meant was that the Speaker had satisfied himself that he had not given them permission. So these 3 were Adwoa, Safo, Kennedy Ohene Japan, and Henry Quartey, the regional minister for Greater Accra. Yeah. So they were the first leg of the breach had been established by the Speaker. 15 days, more than 15 days. I have not given them permission. So it's for you, the committee, to investigate, to determine whether they have reasonable cause to have absented themselves. Okay. And that is what the Constitution provides in Article 97. That determination should be made by the committee. So the committee went and sat on it and availed opportunities to the 3. Henry Quartey appeared, Kennedy Ohene Japan appeared, and according to the committee, they offered reasonable excuse for their absence. For instance, Ken said he had surgery, and then he was given some 6 months leave of absence. Yeah. But when he came to Ghana, he realized that on occasions he felt quite a bit okay, whereupon he came to Parliament. But some of the times that he came and he gave some dates, he came and Parliament would not sit. But what he realized was that maybe getting to the afternoons, he started having pains. So we come, if Parliament was not sitting, maybe from 10 to 12, then you go home. And Henry also said that, yes, he requested permission from the Speaker, and the Speaker approved of it on the occasions that he was away. Yeah. So because the Speaker had approved of his travel outside, he then construed that as the Speaker has been giving him permission. And in fact, he had even written to the Parliament to support him in paying his medical bills. And the Speaker was aware of it. He has submitted all these things to the Speaker. So he took it for granted that the Speaker having given him permission to travel, would he require to send another request to absent himself? So the committee was, convinced that, they had reasonable cause to have absented themselves. Adwoa, on 2-3 occasions that they offered her, did not appear. And then they said she had abused the privilege that they had also extended to her to come before them. The 3rd time was in, I think, July, where she even spoke to me through her special assistant that I should tell the committee that she was going to avail herself on a particular day. I think July 5th or so.
Yeah.
On a particular day. That day came and passed.
One of them, yeah.
And she didn't avail herself, even though they did everything to reach her. So they realized that they determined that she was minded not to appear before the committee. And then made a determination that she had, in that case, having refused on 3 occasions to submit herself, abused the privileges extended to her, even with respect to the privileges committee itself. And then they made a determination that on account of that, it was gross insubordination, and that by that conduct, that seat falls vacant. And that's the imperatives of Article 97, 1C should kick in. That means that the seat is vacant. And when the seat is vacant, it is for the clerk to Parliament to inform the electoral commission, right? Now, there was some difficulty. The difficulty that arose was that when the Speaker made a referral to the Privileges Committee on 5th of April, the Speaker, then went on to say that when the committee should go into it, when they finish, they should submit their report to Parliament. For Parliament not to debate it, but to vote on it, on the report. And that day, I said, when Muntaka said he disagreed with the Speaker for suo motu making a referral, I said, that one, I disagree with Muntaka. The Speaker has that right to do that. What I disagree with the Speaker on is the fact of what he said, his conclusion, that when the report comes, Parliament will not debate it, but Parliament will vote on it. Where is that coming from? So I told the Speaker that I disagree with him on what conclusion that he had drawn, that Parliament, that is plenary, should vote on it. And I said, no, that's not what the Constitution determines. The Constitution says that determination must be made by the committee. So when the report finally came, a motion had been put on the order paper that Parliament should approve of the report from the committee. Yeah. Unfortunately, the committee chairman, the first deputy speaker, had traveled out. I think he had gone to represent the speaker somewhere. So he was not in Parliament. So I raised a plenary objection to the motion, because the motion then would appear that Parliament should approve the report. And if Parliament decides not to approve of a report, what does it mean? That we have decided not to agree with the recommendation of the position of the committee. And I thought that was unconstitutional. Because it doesn't lie with the plenary to make that decision. It lies with the committee.
Okay.
Just as, in the case where maybe in the course, after a budget has been presented and some unforeseen matter arises outside the budgetary allocation, the finance committee could approach, the finance minister could approach the finance committee as per Article 177 of the Constitution to make a request that this has happened. We have finished with the budget, this has happened. But we need to attend to this problem immediately. A finance committee, if they are satisfied with the request from the finance minister, could grant him his request and ask him to take some amount from the contingency fund. That is what Article 177 provides.
Okay.
So fancy the situation, you say that that matter should come to Parliament for Parliament to approve of it. Fancy the situation where the finance committee has given the finance minister the mandate to go and take money from the consolidated fund. He does take it, the contingency fund. He takes it, only for Parliament to come and say that we disapprove of what the finance committee did. What would be the import of it? The finance committee would have caused financial loss. Is that what you mean? So I said, that is not what the Constitution provides. The determination should be made by the finance committee.
Okay.
And so the same effect is what happens under Article 97. And I also took them to Article 106. When matters come before Parliament, for it to be considered under a certificate of urgency, the determination of the urgency of any matter is done by a committee. And not plenary.
Okay.
So I sent them through all these things, and the Speaker then said, I've raised fundamental issues, and he needs to think through well in order to see the proper way about it.
Okay.
So he said he needed some time, which is why we then had to adjourn on that. I think that I'm hoping that the Speaker will do what the Constitution provides.
Which is to declare her seat vacant.
Which, that declaration is not even made by the Speaker.
Well, that determination has been done by the committee.
By the committee.
Because the majority
if the purpose of the Speaker coming in, because and that is why I said that when such a determination is made, it should be served to Parliament as an information paper to inform us. Just as is done in the declaration of urgent matter, or the Finance Committee asking the minister or authorizing the minister to take some amount from the contingency fund. It comes to us as information and not for us to vote on it.
Okay.
So I said that should be the process. But if the Speaker, for purposes of announcing it to the world, says that this is the determination that has been made by the committee. So the seat is vacant. If that is the content of the declaration by the Speaker, I have nothing against it.
But how is it that, her own people are the ones who are now asking for her seat to be declared vacant? Because naturally you'd expect that it's the minority that will take that position. But they are arguing that as long as there is no order of natural justice in this case, you have not heard from her.
My sister.
And so if you've not heard from her, how do you pass judgment?
So if your case goes before a court of competent jurisdiction, you are invited. And we say that you will not appear before the court. We think the court has no business, after they've heard the prosecution person making a ruling. Is that your understanding of the law?
So it should be.
Is that your understanding of the law?
So she should go.
No, I'm asking you. Is that your understanding of the law?
I'm asking you now. So that means that based on this, the majority thinks that
I want to reduce it to conversation.
She should go out of Parliament.
No, I'm saying that the determination has been made. The breach is in respect of Article 97, and the determination has been made by the committee. If we think that there should be some mitigating factors, that's another matter. But that determination has been made.
I see. That means that...
And I, as a person, I'm not happy at what the likely effect or impact will be. Because Adwoa ever said as my deputy, and I know the potential, the tremendous potential in this young lady. Which is
why I'm surprised that regardless of that relationship you may have had.
I've been talking. Look, even that day.
You still think that her seat should be declared vacant?
Even that day. I'm not talking about what I think. It's the position of the law. That day when the determination was, the matter came before us in Parliament. That very day, Adwoa's husband had come to me. In the very morning.
What for?
I will not discuss what for.
Well, you brought it up. I mean, we all didn't know that he had come to you.
I came to
but what was the reason he came to you?
Oh.
Was it on this same matter?
Some family issues, this same matter and some other connected matters.
So what he was asking that you do not...
I am not divulging. You want to bait me, I'm not divulging.
Well, I'm just asking because you brought it up, Honourable.
The information that I
Well, that means that you're okay also, even though this is a totally different matter and that is in the jurisdiction of the President, the fact that he also asked that she step aside as minister, was that a good call by the President, even though people criticized him and said he waited a bit too long to make that decision?
Well, I think that maybe the President wanted to wait on what Parliament would do before making a final determination. I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
I see. Interesting. Well, Honourable Joseph Osei says that if the Speaker, if you resume Parliament and the Speaker does not declare her seat vacant necessarily, you're going to court. Do you agree with that? Oh,
we're not there yet. I think that the very day when my colleagues raised this issue, that they think that there should be a procedure. We are talking about the Constitution and we are saying that there should be a procedure. What procedure? The Constitution exempts these three. Parliament, it is said, we make our own rules, right? But the Constitution specifically exempts these three instances that I've mentioned. And you cannot amend the Constitution by your own rules. You cannot. These are explicit exemptions that the determination is made in respect of the three instances that I've cited in Article 97.1, 97.1c, and also 177 and 106.13 of the Constitution. The determination is made on all these occasions by the committee. And it's not been an instant when a committee in Parliament has declared that this bill is urgent and must be treated as such. When Parliament has said, we disagree with you, let's vote on it. It has never happened.